Yeah, I love content creators and I feel they have so much value to add.
So, how many girls have you slept with in the last 2 years?
I've not been counting.
Of
but
course.
I won't
Must have been
lie.
difficult, bro.
It's a community that we built for like-minded creators. She's like, no, but I need to know. So I asked her how many followers does she have. She's at 230k. I said, okay, yeah, you meet that criteria.
Yeah.
Like engagement rate. She's like, okay, I have 2%. I was like, that's where the problem is.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of who you are, the kind of people you follow, the kind of
people follow you. I think that's very important.
Are they relevant to the kind of brands we work with? Are they relevant to the kind of brand we ourselves are? We were the first agency in India to start with nano influencers. No is anyone above 1,000 followers. And the brands are like now just looking into you because I've told them that trust me, this is a good creator and you should work with this person.
Now another thing is कि ना 100 लोग मुझे दिल्ली में दिखते हैं. मतलब I'm honestly telling you, 100 होंगे या वो 200 होंगे. ब्रांड्स के हैम्पर्स भी उन्हीं के पास जा रहे हैं. जो ब्रांड दिल्ली में लॉन्च हो रहा है वो भी उन्हीं के पास जा रहा है. जो नया रेस्टोरेंट खुल रहा है वही लोग वहाँ पे भी जा रहे हैं. तो देख के ना मैं पक गया हूँ.
Because I feel it's so important to get it right. And when I say right, I mean the strategy. The strategy and the matchmaking of the brand with the influencers is the key here. If you can get these three things to be in the right manner, in the right structure, you will end up having a successful campaign in a long-term period. Then pick 1 million influencers and do the average. It's 2 to 3%, and that is considered a good average engagement rate, right? Where we run anti-promo campaigns. Like legit, it goes with our official message that this is an anti-promo campaign.
What's the ratio if you have 25 A-listers? What's the ratio of guys and girls?
Okay. I used to get annoyed. I used to be the guy sitting on the table. इसको wait करना पड़ता था 2 मिनट.
क्योंकि सब
पहले फोटो लेंगे. I'm like, चल ठीक है. I'm like, तुम्हें क्या मिल रहा है इससे? Like, क्यों डाल रहे हो फोटो? किसको क्या मिल रहा है? And that's when I identified कि यार ब्रांड को कितना फायदा हो रहा है यहाँ पे. ये डाल रहे, स्टोरी टैग कर रहे, उनको ये कुछ दे नहीं रहे हैं. Although these opportunities and free stuff is cool, they like listen, I can just buy it also.
अच्छा, yeah, of
like
course.
I have the money in my pockets.
There's a line by J. Cole. It's there's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success.
Before I started getting paid for parties, I was still going to parties and paying. I'm very happy for competition to come through because it only validates the industry I'm in.
And it makes you better.
Proof of concept that okay, influencer marketing is here and it's here to stay and it's here to grow.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Scene Kya Hai. Today I have with me the founder of ALIST Club, Kulthia. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro.
Cheers, mate.
How does it feel? Don't be nervous. I know it's your first time. You can just chill. We'll have a great conversation. So, kya chal raha hai? What's going on?
All good, man. Just hustling, doing what we do. Taking a break, taking a breather for this Republic Day special.
Okay.
Very happy to be on this podcast. Again, it's my first, but I'm actually quite excited about this because I feel it's going to become natural to me very soon.
Yeah.
Because I'm naturally very intrigued, very like a conversationalist.
Yeah.
Love having conversation, love meeting new people.
Yeah, same here.
So I think this would go.
So that's a perfect fit for a podcast. And bro, it takes time. Like when I started off, if I look at my initial podcasts, मेरी तो फटती थी. मतलब मेरे को समझ नहीं आता था मैं क्या बोलूँ, कैसे बोलूँ. And I cringe when I look back at those videos. But eventually, धीरे you perfect it. Not perfect it, but you keep learning.
The only thing I'm like not keen to do is look at me afterwards. I just don't want to be on camera looking at myself. But it's okay.
That's alright. So, batao bro, what do you do? How's been life? How's been everything in life? What do you do? Tell me about ALIST Club, how you started, what it exactly is.
Life's been really great, man. I'm very blessed, very grateful with how the journey's been. The journey's been quite a ride, insane in many words. Unbelievable to the point where I can't believe I'm here this soon, doing this and at a stature where I can get these opportunities. So yeah, very grateful. But I'll tell you a little bit about ALIST. I'll tell you where it started from, what's the vision.
Yeah.
And then of course I would love for you to like dive deeper into
of
asking
course.
my questions. Because मैं तो बोलता चला जाऊँगा.
हाँ नहीं.
मैं बोलते गया तो
आप पहले ALIST का बताओ, फिर हम इसमें dig in करेंगे पूरा.
Cool, man. So ALIST is essentially a influencer membership club, right? It's a community that we built for like-minded creators, exclusively handpicked in terms of very filtered out. And what you've done is given them a platform. So these are nano influencers, micro influencers, macro. Actually, being an influencer is not the criteria. Being a content creator is the idea. So we've just picked a handful of content creators who we feel are similar, are relevant to the lifestyle aspect of the world in terms of not food bloggers, not beauty bloggers, just lifestyle creators who create good content, given them a platform and got a bunch of brands across different industries, fashion, beauty, food, hospitality, etc. To collaborate, to create a win-win scenario that, okay, cool, everyone adds value to everyone here. The creators that we have on board, their content and their influence that they have in their social network is the kind of relevance that these brands are looking for.
Okay.
So we've become that platform that, cool, you are a brand, you're looking to get amplified, you're looking to reach new audiences, relevant audiences, and you want to do it quickly in the most affordable way, in the more direct way.
Okay.
Right? Which is influencers. And we have these creators who have just started out, everyone's creating content and they need platform to grow. They need platform to connect. They need platform to get these brand collaborations.
That's true.
On board. So that is what ALIST is. That is what we've done here.
So what's currently what's your major revenue source, if I ask you? Is it because the membership part of it that you're talking about, so that you haven't started a fee for that as of now?
No.
So your key revenue source is the brands reaching out to you and your influencers catering to those
Correct.
brands.
So every brand that is associated with ALIST is on a retainer basis, is our revenue source. So they are the ones who pay.
Okay.
And you have to be paid to be on this network of ALIST. No matter which brand you are, no matter what scale you do campaigns with us at, or you just associate with us for not a particular objective or not a particular campaign, you just still want to be associated with ALIST, because being associated with ALIST also gets you a lot of opportunities and gets you a lot of eyeballs.
Okay, so ALIST is basically the brand where everything is happening, everything is connected to.
Correct, which is why I feel we're not a marketing agency. I don't feel or act like a marketing agency. I feel like we are a brand ourselves. We are the platform, and if you're on this platform, you get loads of opportunities, whether you're on the brand side or you're on the influencer side.
So you want to create this thing, you've reached a point in life where you can be part of A-list club. You want people to...
You got to make it to the A-list.
Make it to the A-list club.
Correct.
So you want people to have that feeling.
Yeah, that's where the name comes from.
So right now you have how many content creators, or if you don't want me to use that word, it's fine. How many under A-list currently?
We have about 2,500 content creators on board. They're not exclusive.
They're not exclusive.
They're not exclusive in the sense of contractual exclusive. They're exclusive in the sense that we pick one influencer, one creator out of 100 people that want to be a part of A-list.
Okay, so you get a lot of people DMing you that we want to be a part of A-list.
Insane.
How does
Today I got a call. I was just telling my investor partner about this call, that I just got a call from this creator she gave me missed calls 3 or 4 times. It was from a random number. I usually don't pick random numbers. But I was like, okay, you know what? It must be something urgent, something important. So I picked it up, and she was like, hi. I said, hi. She's like, why not responding to me? I said, I'm sorry, who is this? She's like, listen, I've applied to your A-list. Your A-list? I said, yes, I'm A-list. I've applied to your A-list. I've got no response. Your team doesn't reply to me. What's wrong with me? I said, sorry. I mean,
so random.
I'm so sorry, you've not been responded to. You can apply on the website. There's a formal process, and if you meet the criteria, you'll get responded to. She said, that means I've not met the criteria. I said, I'm assuming so, if you've not been responded for this while.
That you haven't met the criteria.
And you seem very persistent, so I'm sure you must have applied a few times. That you might not meet the criteria. So she's like, what's the criteria? I said, I can't disclose the criteria fully. It's internal information, right? She's like, no, but I need to know. So I asked her how many followers she has. She's at 230K. I said, okay, yeah, you meet that criteria. Engagement rate. She's like, okay, I have 2%. I was like, that's where the problem is.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she was like, okay, is there a way around it? I'm like, no. No, you just have to be a good content creator with good reach, engagement. And if you are that, we'll look into it for sure, and we'll get you a list.
So do you actually look into these guys' data before listing them? If I'm a content creator, for example, I tell you, I have 300, 400K followers and I have 15-20% reach, whatever. Yeah. So would you actually take my phone or my Instagram and go through the insights, or go by word?
We don't need your phone.
Or you can check.
We have internal softwares where we can just put your profiling through, and it breaks it down. It breaks it down in terms of your engagement rate, your audience metrics. We do a personal quality check in terms of your content quality, we generally have a minimum standard of quality that we're like, cool, this standard of quality is what brands would love to have. For example, if you're making a reel and like I'm imagining that, okay, cool, you're making a fashion-based reel or whatever it is, right? You're going out, you're going on a travel vlog and you post that content.
Yeah.
Now, everything that you've attached in that content, is it portrayed in a nice enough manner that if I was that brand whose product or service you've showcased, I would have wished that, I wish you had tagged me, man. It's such a great content, promotes my brand so well.
So you look at it from a branding point of view, which is, I think, the most important for brands. That's what we look at.
Correct. So like, I want to have that such high level quality of content that comes through A-List that every brand can just be very assured that, listen, content won't be a problem.
First is what me as a content creator would get at A-List. What would be the perks, the benefits of being part of the A-List club? And secondly, what kind of criterias do you put in? Like you said, you have criterias that, followers reach. What are like the top 4 to 5 criterias that you look at in getting an influencer or a content creator on board?
So I'll answer the second question first. So, because it's quite simple, right? I won't break it down because I don't think we need to. But of course, the first thing we look at is engagement rate. Is in ratio to your followers, how high is your engagement rate percentage?
Because I think that's the biggest issue with these.
Correct. Fake followers, fake likes. There's fake likes. You can still buy fake likes, but across the board of your content, in terms of your story reach, story insights, reel insights, and post insights, you can't manipulate all of it.
Yeah.
It's going to become too expensive, and I don't think people in general care itna bhi that they'll invest so much into it, right? To maintain a certain percentage of engagement rate. Plus, it's so easy to like see it through in terms of if you just go through comments.
Yeah. Pata lag jata hai.
Very easily filter it out, right? So yeah, first is engagement rate. That's the number one metric that we look at. Second is content quality. Third is your social network in terms of who you are. The kind of people you follow, the kind of people follow you.
I think that's very important.
Are they relevant to the kind of brands we work with? Are they relevant to the kind of brand we ourselves are? Are they relevant to the kind of audience A-List has and our entire network has? Because that is very important, right? Then because whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever you promote, we'll be like, cool, I relate to this guy. There needs to be a factor of relatability to who you are. That I can see this as a potential somebody that I know or is a friend of someone I know. Then whatever you're saying is, I'm like, cool, it's in the same bracket.
Same circle.
Yeah. It can be extended circle, but still the same circle.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we look at is followers, just to make sure that there's enough followers that brands will say like, okay, this is as much reach as I personally have. So why would I rather...
I'd rather put it on my page rather than do someone else doing it for me.
There is a minimum follow criteria that we like, okay, you have to have this much followers at least.
Okay.
But again, it's not the number one thing we look at.
So, I have a question to this also. Is it only content creators or just general, like people in general also? If I am someone, I'm not a content creator, but I know, for example, the key 300-400 people that a brand is targeting.
Correct.
Are those kind of people also part of A-List?
Yes, they are. And moving forward, we'll look for more such people.
Yeah.
But there is a take to it, which I'm betting on, where I believe moving forward, even you said, okay, cool, you're not a content creator, but you are influential, let's just say. You know influential people, you're very well connected.
Yeah.
I feel moving forward, even you and the people you're connected to will start creating content.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
100%.
I feel in future,
content will be king, bro.
Content will be king. Doesn't matter which platform.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be Instagram. Doesn't have to be Reels. I'm not asking you to post Reels.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to put your thoughts out there. It could be Twitter.
Anything.
It could be anything. You just have to put yourself out there on social media because that's where the world is moving towards. So technically, everyone would be a content creator.
Be a content creator. That's true.
So if you are a content creator of some sort and you put things out there which are valuable to your friends, to the brands, to anyone, then technically you meet that criteria.
Yeah, because think from a branding perspective, if I create like a secret society club, for example, where only, there can only be 50 people and, membership is like 10-20 lakh a person, whatever. I would want, rather than a content creator who doesn't have influence in that kind of an area, but a person who just everyone knows and is living in that circle of Delhi or Bombay or wherever, I'd rather send it to them to post a story because that is my target market.
Yeah. So for example, if you're a luxury product holder,
exactly,
you've launched with luxury watch collection or luxury perfumes,
like the Magnesis card, for example, something like that.
Yeah, so essentially they can all be part of A-list, and internally we create tiers. Internally we have different pools.
Different levels.
It's not a vertical tier, so where there's level up, but there's like it's different pools, right? It's different pools and categories that we can create internally, whereby we can figure out what brand it is. You mentioned that you want to tap into, let's say, this influential network pool. Doesn't matter if they're influencers, doesn't matter if they're creators, but they're all some people of importance in whatever area you're in. Now I can easily, within my network of 2,500 people, filter out 50 people for you. And you will get that list.
So you've created categories, different categories.
So whenever you approach us, you want to work with us, you get a list. So you get a list back, which is your list.
Okay.
So that's also like a...
yeah, understood.
You see what I did there.
And now from a content creator's perspective, what are the perks that I could get?
Yeah, I love content creators and I feel they have so much value to add. And I'll go back to the story of also 2 years ago when we were the first agency in India to start with nano influencers.
Okay. Nano is like micro.
Nano is anyone above 1,000 followers is nano influencer.
Okay.
So if you have like 1,100 followers, you are a nano influencer.
Okay, understood.
So technically in the definition of influencer, you're also an influencer.
Okay.
And I'll go back to these days to give you an example where we were reaching out to these friends of mine, right? These are just people who I had grown up with, met in college, knew about them. 1,200 followers, 1,500 followers. And I was reaching out to them, telling them about, listen, I'm starting something called A-List. It's going to be cool. It's going to be like trendy. We're going to create a club and like we'll have lots of people on it. We'll do like lots of cool stuff. It won't feel like work. It's not an agency where I'm going to make you work. I'm just going to create something fun. And if you want to be part of it, you should be part of it because you'll get multiple opportunities. And the number one thing people used to say back to me, like, listen, how I'm an influencer, I have like 1,500 followers. Why are you even talking to me? How I'm relevant? And I was like, that's the definition and explanation I gave then, that you are important because you are relevant to your 1,500 people.
Yeah.
Your value and your thoughts and whatever you put out there is valuable to 1,500 people. And even from those 1,500 people, if I can convince 100 people to go to this place or to buy this product, we've done our job. That's more than enough, right?
Yeah.
Now when they question me, okay, cool, what do I get of it? I put this person who was, let's say, a nobody in a brand and a platform that was much bigger than them, right, at that point, because we had all big people also. So we made it a level playing field. I had a creator who had 100K plus verified people also on A-list. And I said, you and you are both A-listed now. You're on the same level playing field. There's no difference between you. But because now you're part of it, to the brand's eyes also, you're on the same line. So suddenly you've gone from being a nobody to becoming A-listed now, where I've put you on the list along like these 10, 15, 50, 100 other creators.
Like macro influencers, big ones.
Yeah. And the brands are like now just looking into you because I've told them that, trust me, this is a good creator and you should work with this person. So we've given you that stamp of credibility that cool, you're a good content creator.
Also free parties and booze.
That is the best part. So so that is one, just you get access
to a lot of these places, events.
So basically we have broken it down to 3 tiers. We do collaborations. So you get lots of collaboration opportunities from brands, online and offline. Okay. There are experiences. So we do exclusive A-list socials, A-list trips, A-list events. We're starting with A-list pop-ups, which is we're going to do a first really big pop-up at Dirty Good soon.
Okay.
So it's like a pop-up experience with lots of fashion brands, etc. Actually brands from across industries on board. So you get exclusive invites and access to all these exclusive events and stuff we do, basically becoming experience.
And also network in these areas.
And the third is support and collaboration. So in professional sense, you get to network with all these people. You get to meet like-minded creators, create content with them. Let's say we met through an A-lister, right? Ansh is part of A-list. I am founder of A-list. He knows you and you're a creator in that sense. He's the one who connected us both because they were all part of A-list. And we met in an A-list party.
And I think, right? And I think that is very important, bro. Networking is key to a lot of things in life.
Here in this industry, more than ever. Like it's about who you know, how much you know, and that's how the opportunity.
If I get to connect to a person who has like 1 million subscribers and I get to shoot with him.
Correct.
I have already engaged at least 20,000 subscribers of his to my channel or my platform. So that's very important.
Absolutely.
तूने एक बड़ी interesting चीज़ बोली bro, coming to the topic of influencer marketing and all now, that कि जो तेरे 1,500 लोग हैं, for example, a nano influencer, as you said,
Yeah.
you are influential to them, you are influencing them.
Correct.
Those 1500 people. I feel जिनके 10-20 हज़ार followers भी है, मिलियन तो नहीं जाऊँगा, बट जिनके 10,000 followers भी है ना, वो भी influence जो है वो 1500 लोगों को ही कर रहे हैं.
हाँ.
शायद उससे भी कम ही कर रहे हो. तो now I'm gonna ask you a question, put the ball in your court. So I also run a brand.
Okay.
And I did influencer marketing with 2-3 different 2 different agencies. And जो मेरा मतलब जो मेरे दिमाग में एक चीज़ बार बार आई वो यही आई कि जितने लोगों को भी मैं भेज रहा हूँ उनकी फॉलोअर्स तो है, मतलब 10,000 से लेके 300-400K तक है, लेकिन जो उनकी रीच है, मुझे जैसा मेरा ब्रांड है, मुझे ना तो कोई ऐसे ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर्स आ रहे हैं, ना मेरे की कोई बहुत ज़्यादा सेल्स ये एक्टिविटी करने से बढ़ गई. बस ये था कि एक बार के लिए पता लग गया कि एक एक्स ब्रांड है जो उसी तरीके के सर्कल के लोग सारे देख रहे हैं. नाउ अनदर थिंग इज़ कि ना 100 लोग मुझे दिल्ली में दिखते हैं, मतलब आई एम ऑनेस्टली टेलिंग यू, 100 होंगे या वो 200 होंगे, ब्रांड्स के हैम्पर्स भी उन्हीं के पास जा रहे हैं.
Correct.
जो ब्रांड दिल्ली में लॉन्च हो रहा है वो भी उन्हीं के पास जा रहा है, जो नया रेस्टोरेंट खुल रहा है वही लोग वहाँ पे भी जा रहे हैं. तो देख देख के ना मैं पक गया हूँ कि यार मैं नहीं, आपको अगर आप एक दिन में 10 स्टोरीज डाल रहे हो तो मैं कैसे, हाउ यू इन्फ्लुएंसिंग मी टू बाय one of those 10 brands? If you put one, or if you put one in 1 week or 2 in 1 week, कम से कम ये तो है ना कि यार ओके, मतलब इस बंदी ने या बंदे ने ये वाला ब्रांड डाला था और यही डाला तो ये अच्छा होगा. अगर आप फूड के 4 डाल रहे हो, स्किन केयर के 4 डाल रहे हो, तो आप मेरे को इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं कर रहे. सो माई इशू इज़ कि ये लोग केटर किसको कर रहे हैं फिर, एंड वॉट इज़ देयर एंड गोल. मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि दीज वर अ बंच ऑफ, सॉरी टू से, मतलब आई एम बीइंग वेरी ओपन, बंच ऑफ फेमस पीपल इन दिल्ली जिन्होंने शादी कर ली, अपनी प्रोफाइल पब्लिक कर दिया. मतलब ये सच बात है ब्रो, मतलब कुछ भी करके वो पहुंच गए, उन्होंने अपनी फोटोज डाल दी, ये सब कर दिया, पार्टी करते थे हुए. तो पहली चीज़ तो इनकी इन्फ्लुएंस क्या हुई, ब्रांड जब इनको रीच आउट कर रहे हैं तो मुझे तो क्रिंज लगने लग गया है. वही मतलब वही 100-200 लोग जो है, या तो है कि दे आर टर्निंग दीज थिंग्स इनटू बिजनेसेस. You know, if you have a platform, you start a clothing line, you have 100-200K followers, you start somewhere, you have an audience to sell to. But just seeing them going to restaurants and putting up stories, I don't think that there are 10 best butter chickens in Delhi. I don't think that 10 of the cheesecakes that 10 different restaurants are serving are the best. So how do we filter these out?
So before I answer, I want to ask you back a question on the campaign, whatever you did with whoever you did. What was the nature of campaign? Like, what was the deal and deliverables, for example?
Nothing, bro. They're going to send out my hampers to like 100 influencers.
उनको एक gift मिला,
gift मिला, barter हुआ, हो गया.
Yeah. Now, did you see these 100 people? Did you pick them handfully? Did they pick you? Do you think that process happened?
No.
Nothing.
It's just I asked who was these influencers going to be. They sent me a list with their details and the names and the address. That, you know, these are the
इनको भेज दो. So this is why it's very important to be a specialist here. Everyone feels, and like, to be honest, in the last 2.5 years of our journey, since we started and we became a big name because of just the marketing we did, I feel hundreds of other agencies have come through in the same space. All saying हम influencer marketing करते हैं, हम भी PR agency है. Now, I've never diverted away from influencer marketing to anything beyond influencer marketing. No PR, no social media, nothing. No digital marketing, no print media, nothing. Just influencer marketing. Because I feel it's so important to get it right. And when I say right, I mean the strategy. The strategy and the matchmaking of the brand with the influencers is the key here. If you can get these 3 things to be in the right manner, in the right structure, you will end up having a successful campaign in a long-term period. ये short-term game है ही नहीं. ये brand building activity है. Influencer marketing leads to very low direct ROI.
Of course.
Unless the product is a super hit, whereby you like how, like, I don't know, you invent the next iPhone, and then my job is to just show it to you once.
Yeah.
Right? We have similar case studies that we've come up with really cool products from brands out of nowhere, and they've blown up. Blown up in a span of 1 or 2 months, whereby they've like said to me only, listen, we don't need you anymore. Thank you for your job. And I'm proud of it. I'm happy. I actually believe that if I've done my job to the perfection, you shouldn't work with me after 3 to 6 months. You should just be like, cool, we still want to work with you because we want to be associated with you as a gesture, as a relationship. Plus, believe that it's not just influencer marketing at base level, but there's multiple opportunities that come through it because of it. Also because I'm like, again, I've said on a platform, bigger network, etc. Coming back to your question.
See, sorry, I'm cutting you. This, what you said, is from a brand's point of view. And there are many brands that I can also think of which would be perfect for these kind of influencer marketing activities. There are. I 100% agree. People must have gotten much greater ROI. I am more of a distribution-led business. So for me, it was just more about a word of mouth, basically. Ki pata lag jaye, you know. But what I asked you was from a consumer point of view.
Correct.
From a person
so
who's
not
following...
from your brand point of view. So, okay.
Yeah.
So now I'll tell you from my point of view, I don't work with those 100 people. And it is because of this reason. A lot of people have asked me that, okay, like, you know, these are the known influencers. These are the ones that every brand wants.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's exactly the point. I feel, okay, we have an internal policy, right, where we run anti-promo campaigns. Like legit, it goes with our official message that this is an anti-promo campaign, which means you're not supposed to promote it.
Okay.
You're supposed to use it as if you are a customer and you're a user of that product.
Understood.
And only do this collaboration if you like the brand, if you like the product or service. Otherwise, don't do it. We are not exclusive, and I told you, listen, you can be a part of ALIST yet not work with us. That's absolutely fine. Because my job is not to be like, listen, aap mere influencers, I'm sending you stuff, you have to do a story. I'm like, no, you're on this platform. I'm going to bring this brand. For example, let's put it from your point of view also. We brought your brand to the platform. 2,500 people saw it. 2,500 of my influencers saw it. They're like, I love snacks. I want to try this out. They reach out to us saying, you know what, this seems cool. Can you please send it to me? I would love to try it.
Understood.
And then that list gets created. So my 100 people would have been not the ones I select. They would have self-selected them because they're like, I really think this brand looks cool. The branding that's been done looks cool. I'm naturally a foodie. I'm a lot into snacks. I want to try it. Or please send it to me. So there's no transactional value which I've had. There's no paid value that I've had here. We've not discussed commercial. We're like, win because I want this. Win for the brand because they've got the right influencer. Now, because this is a natural choice that I've made, even to my followers, it'll come through.
Understood.
You know, because I'm not going this for anyone.
I think that's the right thing to do, bro. I think wohi hitch hai as a person who's following someone also कि मेरे को नहीं देखना, थोड़ा रियलिस्टिक हो, बेसिकली गेटिंग सम, मतलब थोड़ी असलियत और ज़्यादा लेके आए, थोड़ी रियलिटी और ज़्यादा लेके आए प्रमोट करने में चीज़ों को.
They have to be authentic to themselves. Like as an influencer, I'm strongly against you promoting everything. Be like, listen, pick your niche. Yeah. Pick what you're good at, pick what you like, and only promote brands from.
So I discussed this point with Kashish Anand also. I shot a podcast with him. That the difference between content creators and influencers.
Yeah.
मेरे लिए content creator वो है जो content बना रहा है.
Correct.
जैसे मैंने कहा तू खुद है, मतलब कशिश को जैसे तू खुद है, या बहुत सारे हैं दिल्ली में, गोविंद कौशल या you know तन्मय भट्ट, all these guys are content creators. Influencers, like मेरे को इस नाम से इतनी वो होने लग गई है ना कि बस अगर आप अपनी फोटो डाल रही करो, वो कर रहे हो, मेरे को लगता है कि वो कंटेंट नहीं है, वो इन्फ्लुएंशियल हो सकता है, वो इन्फ्लुएंस हो सकती है आपकी कोई उसमें, बट इसको टैलेंट से कंपेयर ना करो. मेरा वही इसमें जाके कुंडी अटक जाती है, बिकॉज आई सी कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स डूइंग सो मच वर्क, you know, giving in so much, writing scripts, doing this, doing that. Influencer just has influence over people. वो भी जो आपने कहा 2-4-5%, क्या होता होगा एवरेज रेट? आई रियली वांट टू नो.
Yeah, the industry average rate is 2 to 3%.
What are you saying?
Yeah. So across, if you see the whole spectrum of influencers, pick 1 million influencers and do the average, it's 2 to 3%, and that is considered a good average engagement rate. Like when brands, actually corporate brands, which are brands who've been traditionally doing influencer marketing at scale, when they approach us, they say like, cool, I want good influencers, huh? Like please give me good engagement. I'm like, sure, like what's expected? They're like 2.5% works. Like,
I mean,
like, some just don't understand.
A company like MAMAEARTH, I think what they did, मतलब उन्होंने तो, I think they did it with 5,000 to 6,000 influencers at once in one go. That is a very interesting thing to do, but they have deep pockets.
Correct.
तो आप कर सकते हो उसमें. आपको मतलब अगर मैं वो कर रहा हूँ ना, तो मेरी किस इन्फ्लुएंसर की क्या रीच है, क्या है, मेरे को उससे लेना देना नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं हर जगह दिख रहा हूँ लिटरली. तो वो बहुत इंटेलिजेंट तरीके की एक्टिविटी है
यार है. बट when you, so we've had brands who've done these. We've had corporate brands who've now come to us with a similar requirement.
Okay.
Saying, let's do 5,000 influencers. And I'm said, I'm not going to do it. Not because I can't do it. It's very easy for me to become a brand that's trusted and agency that is trusted. And I can take it on board. And मैं बोला मेरे पास तो 25, so I'll do it with them. Plus I'll outsource it to like 100 other agencies. वो भी कर देंगे मेरे लिए. Brand को फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But the key here is that selection of who you do it with is so important. दैट अगर आप 5,000 की जगह वो 1,000 आपको अपने 5,000 के इन्फ्लुएंसर कैंपेन कर रहा है, आपको वैल्यू सिर्फ 500 से ही मिली है.
सही बात है. वो
4,500 का आपका वेस्ट हुआ है, which you have the budgets to afford to, that ठीक है मैं 5,000 को बेच रहा हूँ, मेरे को 500 से ही वैल्यू मिलनी है.
That's also true.
But 4,500 is gone to waste. I'm like, why waste it? It actually degrades the brand value when a random person who doesn't deserve your product, who doesn't to be collaborating with a brand or corporation as big as MAMAEARTH is getting that opportunity.
But again, now this also comes down to the point कि हर ब्रांड की मार्केट अलग तरीके से होती है.
Yeah, that is also true.
अब जैसे MAMAEARTH है, वो चाहते हैं कि भाई मेरा हर जगह मेरा प्रोडक्ट बिके. छोटे से छोटे नुक्कड़ पे भी अगर मेरा प्रोडक्ट बिक रहा है, या ऑनलाइन आजकल सबके फ़ोन में जियो है, तो सब लोग मेरा ऑर्डर करें बिकॉज मेरी अफोर्डेबिलिटी है.
करेक्ट.
तो उनके लिए वो एक्टिविटी सही है. बट अगेन अगर मेरे को सिर्फ 100 लोगों को ही टैप करना है, तो मैं उसी तरीके, मेरा प्रोडक्ट ही उसी तरीके का है, तो मैं 100 लोग को ही टैप करके उन पर खर्च करूँ पैसा.
I'll tell you what would have been a better approach. I don't know, feel like this is the right thing to be saying because no one's going to hear it probably in that sense. I wish someone from MAMAEARTH hears this.
मैं भेज दूंगा.
Because they should have rather given those 5,000 products or whatever hampers to their best customers. To their best 5,000 customers कि ये लो तुम, मैं तुम्हें भेज रहा हूँ, तुम प्राइवेट प्रोफाइल हो, तुम्हारे पास शायद 500 फॉलोअर्स है, बट तुम डालो स्टोरी, तुम डालो मेरे लिए एक पोस्ट. That is someone who already likes you, already is your loyalist, even if has no incentive from MAMAEARTH.
That's true.
Will still be going to their friends, to their family, to their brothers, sisters, being like, ये product use करो यार, this is nice. I use it, I always use it. That tangibility of word of mouth is so much higher.
That's what the Whole Truth did, you know. You should पढ़ियो उसके बारे में.
Okay.
There's this company called the Whole Truth Foods.
Okay. Yeah, of course I know.
It's a very big inspiration to me, like that company and the founder Shashank. The kind of marketing that they do, it's so customer oriented and customer focused कि मैंने उनकी बार्स अपने कम से कम 10 दोस्तों को खिलाई है.
Sweet.
और उनको रेगुलर कस्टमर बनाया because from the packaging to everything is so personalized. Like the chocolates, initial 100 members got a personalized wrapper जिसके ऊपर उनका नाम लिखा हुआ था.
Very nice.
So you know companies doing this. So I completely get your point कि अगर वो 5,000 अपने best customers को भेजते, तो अगर मेरे 5 दोस्त रात को मेरे घर आ रहे सैटरडे को चिल करने, दे गो इनटू माय बाथरूम, दे सी द प्रोडक्ट, मैं भी बोलूँगा यार इस कंपनी ने ना मेरे को ये गिफ्ट हैम्पर भेजा फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. So you should start using it. That's a very intelligent thing to do.
Plus, like again, it's genuine. It's now if I'm sure they went as a brand that they did, they sent it to 5,000 beauty segmented influencers, bloggers, all category without filtering, right? अब उनको यही hamper 5 और brand से भी आ रहा है. So again, that point that you went back to, that cool, you're posting 5 brands and saying कि ये सारे best है. How do I trust you? I don't trust you.
Yeah. Trust factor ज़रूरी है.
Yeah, so moving forward and in this industry, if you want to do influencer marketing right, go away from the influencer word and just start working with people, like genuine regular people who are social, have social presence. Doesn't matter how much, but have social presence.
That's also what A-list is doing in a way.
Correct. So which is why I don't look at followers. It's not about followers. It's about you have a social presence and you have social influence. I don't like the word influencer also. So even I don't use it. But I use it only for brands because brands को
उनको समझाना ही है. उनको समझाने का तरीका ही है.
It's the hook to get
them. It's the language.
It's the buzzword. It's the hook to get them to understand what I do.
It's the words that's in right now basically.
It'll soon convert to creators. Soon it'll convert to something else. I'm like, listen, I can't keep changing, so I'm calling everyone A-lister.
अच्छा, A-lister.
I have 25.
That's good for your as branding point of view also. It's very good. नाम जाता है ना बार A-list
हर
जगह.
So now my brands ask me like, can you send A-listers please? They don't say influencers.
अच्छा, A-listers. Very good. Very good. That's a very successful thing that you've done, by the way.
Very happy about it.
तो एक बात बता, सबसे मुश्किल क्या काम है इस पूरे उसमें? What's the ratio if you have 25 A-listers? What's the ratio of guys and girls?
Okay. I would say it's 80-20.
80-20. And what's the most difficult thing?
I mean,
with them
if
both?
you actually ask about the ratio, I'll tell you about the ratio why it is such. Because I just feel guys haven't, a lot of guys, at least if you average it out to 10 people, I think about 7 or 8 out of 10 girls are comfortable posting, creating content.
Guys
they like
are not.
doing it. They like clicking pictures, you know, even if they go out, it's not about themselves, but they like clicking picture of aesthetics, cute stuff, food, etc. ये बहुत पहले से हो रहा है.
हाँ, बहुत पहले
से हो रहा है, right? Actually, this is how I identified. When I used to go out in like UK with my friends, I used to get annoyed. I used to be the guy sitting on the table, जिसको wait करना पड़ता था 2 minutes.
क्योंकि सब
पहले
फोटोज खींच
फोटो
रहे
लेंगे, I'm like चलो ठीक है. And I'm like तुम्हें क्या मिल रहा है इससे? Like क्यों डाल रहे हो फोटो? किसको क्या मिल रहा है? And that's when I identified कि यार ब्रांड को कितना फायदा हो रहा है यहाँ पे. ये डाल रहे, स्टोरी टैग कर रहे हैं, उनको ये कुछ दे नहीं रहे हैं. You know, this person who's posting about it, taking 2 minutes, making me wait, brand is not rewarding us at all. I'm like ये free होना चाहिए. इसको बोलो एक free कुछ भेजे complimentary हमारे लिए. Actually, that is one of the
inspirations behind
it. But guys, on the other hand, are very few who are meeting all these criteria in terms of creating content. Yes, great. But then keeping the content quality very high, not making it cringe, you building their own niche and like thinking all about it, you know. So I think it's about to grow. More and more guy creators are coming through. So soon, I think the ratio is going to keep changing. But abhi ke liye, when I started ALIST, this whole market is so new, this whole industry is so new. I think it's going to take some time to evolve for this ratio to balance out to 50-50. I think it's going to take good 2-3 years. But abhi ke liye, yeah, just because I have my standard of what this selection process so high that only few guys make it.
Exclusivity is so what about the challenges? क्या दिक्कतें क्या आती है डे टू डे बेसिस पे डील करने में A-listers के साथ?
So it's some of it is naturally because of who these people are, and some we've managed to do it ourselves. So I also take the blame of it.
Naturally, as in?
So naturally,
do they throw tantrums?
With the backgrounds, which families they're from, how they've grown up. You know, like they've been privileged. A lot of us have been like privileged from the start. Yeah. So although these opportunities and free stuff is cool, they like, listen, yeah, I can just buy it also.
Acha, yeah, of course.
Like I have the money in my pockets. Like I have the access. I know well enough people that I can get through other ways also. So first, converting that mindset that, listen, I know you can do it, but this is more about a collaboration whereby you are actually endorsing and you're adding value to the world. You're adding value to the brands who are working hard to, because I work with a lot of small and homegrown brands.
Okay.
Right? These are brands that have come out of nowhere selling products at like 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. But they're no ones at this point. But I really like them. I really like their products. I feel they have potential to go up against the big dogs. You know, so I endorse them. I'm on that side of the business. So it's a challenge for me to convince these influencers or people who have the money, who are the regular shoppers from the bigger brands, that you know what, I know you can buy and I know you have it, but please do it for these guys, because trust me, once you receive the product, you'll be very happy about it. And you'll be glad that out of nowhere, I've brought you a brand and a product which you would have not naturally gone out to and bought by yourself because you would have not trusted them. But because I'm sending it for you for free, so there's no risk value attached. So at least try them out. So this process of getting their trust.
Changing that psyche.
Changing that psyche and getting their trust over a period of 2 years, that listen, if I'm bringing you a brand that might not look good, maybe they've not even got a good shoot done yet. Let's say I'm coming up with the best quality t-shirts. Like name the best brand quality t-shirt and I'm saying I'm matching it up. But my product price value, retail value is 10x less. But I'm telling you it's the same quality. Right? If I said this to you 2 years ago, you wouldn't trust me. And you wouldn't be like, nahi, meko nahi chahiye. Like, I've seen the page, it looks shit. I've seen the photos that has come through, it looks bad. I don't want to try it out. Now I've managed to create the authority that, listen, agar wo A-list, agar you're my influencer, this is my brand, if I'm telling you,
तो अच्छा होगा.
अच्छा होगा.
तो trust आ जाता है.
वो trust आ गया, वो credibility आ गई है, which has taken a very hard, long time to build, because that means you have to consistently get it right. If I'm sending you 10, okay, one might actually not be nice. You'd be like, yeah, Aman, ये क्या भेज दिया यार, ये तो अच्छा नहीं लगा मुझे. This restaurant is not nice. But to get it consistently right, that's managed to build us a credibility now, which I'm right now very happy about, because इसके बिना जो मैं करना चाहता हूँ वो करना बहुत मुश्किल होता. Creating this network, giving everyone a chance to be a part of it and then flourish, get that attention, get that credibility. वो credibility आती ही नहीं without trust. तो trust build करने में बहुत time लग गया. Back in, like, you also have unsuccessful campaigns, you also have unsuccessful events, unsuccessful influencer collaboration.
So you've had unsuccessful events initially?
Many.
अच्छा, तो क्या feeling आती है? I want to know about that, bro.
Yeah, events is my natural background also. So
Achha, okay.
I've when I was in UK, so we were in University of Bath. It's relatively a small town.
So getting events and all done.
Yeah, so luckily, I don't know how I managed to become an event manager for the biggest nightclub in the city.
Okay,
at
in
the age
Bath.
of 19. In
Oh,
Bath.
crazy.
So it was a proper hip hop commercial place. Friday night was always banging. There was always a queue. It used to take 1 hour to get in.
Oh.
And yeah, just being me who I was, I used to show up always late. But I used to come with like 15, 20 girls. Right? Who were all my friends, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
not that I was a pimp.
Yeah, but like all your friends.
Yeah, all my friends who used to be like, listen,
Playboy.
Yeah, yes. But like, and all of these were like Europeans or like Indians, like not usually like national British people. So these are like relatively richer people, just in general,
Yeah.
right? Because international students have money. That's why they have the money to actually end up in UK. So they were happy to pay. So right, I used to just go to the bouncer and the entry, like, listen, it's 20 of us. It's me and 2-3 guys and like 15, 20 girls. Can we all please skip this queue and get in? And like we'll get a table, or we'll like pay extra to get in. Like if the ticket price is 5, I'm happy to pay 8, or I'm happy to pay 10.
Yeah.
So this happened consistently for like 4-5 weeks, and then the owner called me up. Like, who are you, bhai? Like, my team is saying there's this guy who every time shows up with 20-30 people. Pays more, gets in, has great people. You know, and this people...
And spends inside as well.
Ends up also going inside, getting tables, spending more. So they're like, listen, I don't know what you do, how you do it, but can you become our event manager? And take our Fridays, you manage it. And I was like, okay, what's the pay? And they were like, it's 2 to 3% of sales. I said, okay, how much does this convert on like a weekly basis? They were like £1,000 every Friday. I was like, what? Like, sure, that's my part-time job sorted.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, I'll do this. And I got into events. And when I got into it, then I was like, cool, the Indian market in Bath was growing rapidly. So I was like, listen, I'm a Bollywood guy. I'm a big Shah Rukh Khan fan. I'm full into Bollywood. Grown up that. At night,
all
if
of us.
I'm all of alone, I'll probably listen to Bollywood, Hindi music, old school. So I was like, there's such a big market of Indians here who are probably like on the richer side, have a lot of money from Delhi.
Have the spending power.
Have the spending power like on a way higher capacity than the normal public.
Normal Brits.
Normal Brits of Bath. So I pitched them an idea that why don't you let me do an event and I'll do a Bollywood event here at this club, which has never happened. They've never played Bollywood music in, I think, 15 years of their existence. And they were like, are you sure? I said, okay, give me an off day. Give me a day where you're closed. So they gave me a Wednesday. They're like, Wednesday, like we shut at 10 because it's a normal Wednesday night or weekday. Why would anyone party? You take Wednesday and you do your night. So I did my first Bollywood night.
तो तूने वहाँ पे शलोम बना दिया पूरा.
Basically. मैंने वो करा, we killed it. That sales was equal to the Saturday night they did.
Crazy.
And they were like, I don't know how you did this. And it was my first event. We broke records. Legit, we broke records. On a Wednesday night, we had the most amount of people at the club ever. So then we made an IP, started doing it every month. Started doing Sufi nights. So I started,
which also gets a lot of people.
Yeah, I started Sufi nights, and in UK wasn't a thing. Yeah, UK में आप सोचो UK में बैठ के किसी गाँव में Sufi night चल रहा है हिंदी. So again, coming back to events, I've had that process of like understanding how events work, what goes well, what are the key functionalities, how to market events really well to ensure it's a success. उसके बाद भी guarantee नहीं है, and like when we've done events with ALIST, there are times when people don't show up. Brands have expectations in terms of
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with those people if they don't show up?
To be honest, I am very unattached to the outcome.
Okay, that's very good.
I am very attached to the effort and
the process.
The process.
Yeah.
And I've fallen in love with, and I feel like, listen, if you've given your 100% in the process and in the input of it, that I've done absolutely everything I could. Yeah. And there's nothing that I've not tried to do to pull this off. If I've done all of that, then when the event goes well or not, I'm unbothered.
There's a line by J. Cole. It's there's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success, and that
said it.
Yeah, and that line really. I mean, it's such a beautiful line, and I think people should go by that in such things only. Outcome के पीछे भागोगे ना, तो आपका process fuck up हो जाएगा.
Correct. And naturally, like 9 out of 10, if you've done the process right, the events have turned out successful. Like I've had a very similar instance where we had a new team, so we obviously like recently grown, got a new office, expanded our team massively, gave an opportunity to few of my team members to do their event by themselves without me. They tried their best. Event didn't go too well, and they were like very upset. Like fully, first event morale has gone to zero. And I then made them understand the value of the process and value of the input. And like we again looked back, figured out what else could we have done differently, what could have the strategy difference have been, and we implemented the next event. The next event was banging hit, and that's when they understood that like as long as you've done all your bit, then event acha jayega hi, yaar. Like if you just given it your all, there's very few chances or very few unlikely instances which is not in your control that the event doesn't go well.
How many of the events that you do are you personally at as well?
I'm mostly at every event.
Okay.
I like to be. Not that I have to be in terms of work or my presence is mandatory or that the brands.
But you like being there.
I like being there because I'm a natural socialite.
Yeah.
I love meeting people.
And that helps with your work as well, the kind of work that you're doing.
Absolutely. It's something very natural to me. Again, like this industry is natural to me. Events, fun, parties, going out there, meeting people, meeting brands owners, helps build me more connections. Influencers also have not come through me who don't know me. Once they've met like the founder of this company that you've come through or you've come for, that it creates a long-term attachment value that, okay, I know the founder, I'm connected to the founder now. So that is kind of bonds them to ALIST for a longer period of time. Makes them personally attached rather than just to a name.
Yeah.
And I don't know which company this is. No, I know the owner. He's a friend.
It's like a group that you're a part of, or like a big group that you're part of.
Yeah, so that's why Ansh said, right? Like managing 2,500 people. Kaise karta hai ye?
Hectic hai, bro. Actually, man. Hectic to hai.
It's very hectic and it's bound to happen. But again, you need, that cliche line that you need to have passion for the game you're playing.
100%.
So it is the case for me.
Yeah.
Like this is what I've been doing. I would have been doing even if this was not my company and if I was not being paid for it.
Because
Like
you love doing this.
Yeah. So before I started getting paid for parties, I was still going to parties and paying.
Yeah.
Now I've just switched the table. Like now you pay me to come more. That's the only difference.
And the membership part of it, coming back to ALIST.
Yeah.
Eventually, you said you're going to turn it into like a membership thing.
It is.
For example, to the general public, like, me as a nobody, if I come up to ALIST 1 or 2 years down the line and I say, hey, you guys have these great parties I have access to. Maybe I'm not an influencer. I wouldn't like access to that side of it, but like, just the parties and the events and everything like that. And I'm willing to pay a fee for it just so that I can network and meet people. Do you have that in plans?
We'll have something similar in plans, but it still won't be general in the sense that anyone can come and be a part of it. Because money is not the main aspect here. I don't want to link being a part of ALIST attached to money because then all the rich kids will want to be part of it.
Of course. You need to have that exclusivity.
You need to be somebody or have that talent to be somebody or have that drive to be somebody, right? Even if you're not a content creator who's made it or even if you're not someone who's made it. But I'm like, cool, then what value do you add to the table?
Yeah.
If not now, that's okay with me. If you're a nobody right now, that's absolutely fine with me. But can I see the effort? Can I see the willingness? Can we see the dedication for you to keep trying to become somebody? It can be simplified as if like you're a intern, right? Trying to join a big company and you're like, cool, I have no work experience, right? But you can look at me, you can meet me, you can see my application. I can see like, cool, this person has the soft skills or has the drive and the passion to do something and make something out of it. And then we'll take you on board, and only then will we take your money if we take your money, right? And then we'll be like, cool, now I'll give you the platform and the opportunity for it. And then let's see if you 3 months and 6 months if you can use this. So we'll essentially not be like, we won't handhold you. But we'll make you enter the room where there's room full of opportunities, and now it's up to you to make most of it.
That's a great idea, bro. So, how many girls have you slept with in the last 2 years?
Straight up, huh? No filters. Let me just have my sip of water.
Because looking at the kind of work you do, I can only imagine, bro.
So few. I mean, I've not been counting.
Of
but
course.
I won't
Must have been
lie.
difficult, bro.
I hate you for this question. But it's okay. All honestly, of course, I'm out there. I'm very much out there. I'm very much single.
I've been dating for 4 years.
You can't be interested. Your girl won't let you get
But man, getting and dealing with all these egos. I mean, everyone, I'm sure they have egos, man. Just dealing with egos is a big issue.
There is, and it's a constant battle. Because
tell me a few tantrums that they throw. Without naming, I mean, of course.
Yeah, of course. Some people who've made it big, they forget their roots. It's there in my own platform. Where, again, remember those people I was talking about who came onto ALIST when they were very small, when they were like 5,000 followers, and that metric, not in terms of small as a person, but in terms of who they were as a creator. Were very small. And now 2 years down the line, they've blown up. Their reels have gone viral. They've made it. They've got 200, 300, 400. There are some who've, obviously I understand where you want to change your boundaries and be like, cool, I was being paid this much, now I should be paid this much. But I feel some have just forgotten their roots in terms of that 2 years ago you were a nobody. And we were the ones who gave you the platform to become somebody. True. And that needs to be mutual level of respect that is maintained, because who knows if this would have happened if not for that opportunity, that one opportunity that got you this one gig. Because you can't never connect the dots directly. You can only connect it looking backwards. So if you do, you'll realize that we have something to do with it. So the tantrums that I deal with is like, you know what, I won't do this. I'm too cool for it now. I'm too big for it now. I don't want to be invited to a place where this person is coming. I'm like,
so like they have internal egos as well. Internal clashes.
Egos, obviously, man. Like small circle. You're mixing them up, putting them in the same room all the time. There's so much is happening. Influencer, to be honest, credit to them. It's a constant battle with the world, right? Being an influencer is not easy. I do really feel for them, because I don't know if you ever sat down and just gone through a creator's comment section. There's so much hate out there.
That's true.
There's insane amount of love also, but I think way more amount of hate. No.
And the love doesn't, when you're scrolling, आप love के comments बाद में पढ़ते हो, पहले hate comments पढ़ते हो.
Yeah,
it's natural human psyche.
Human psyche, human nature, and hate is way more easy to spread, right? But hate affects you way more. Like 10 negative comments affect you way more than one
positive
super positive comment. So credit to them that they've been able to survive through this, tolerate this, and yet keep creating content without fear. Then the ones I feel who've become more successful are the ones who've gone through this battle and come out winning, that you know what, I've reached a point where I don't care. I don't care if you love me, I don't care if you hate me. I'm just going to be authentic, be myself, and keep doing what I'm going to doing.
Again, it's up to you. It's again about passion, bro. I mean, अगर मैं किसी चीज से प्यार करता हूँ ना, जैसे podcasting for example, I don't care about my numbers, I don't care about my comments, I don't care about my likes, anything. I'm doing this because I love doing this. And Vinamra from Dostcast only told me that, bro, why are you going to be successful? I said, why? Because you are not running for numbers. You're running for something else. You have a different goal in mind. You're not planning to sell your book through your podcast or this and that. You eventually want to make a platform that is going to help you in your politics when you join. So when you get into the rat race na, that's when आपका दिमाग खराब होने लग जाता है, पागल हो जाते हो. So you need to just focus that I started off because I loved doing this. Everything else comes along with it.
Absolutely, man. I'm the biggest endorser for this, because I just don't think you will have what it takes to sustain through the bad times, the problems, the issues, when things don't go well for you. If you don't come back to the roots and be like, this is what I love doing, I'll do this even if this doesn't work out, I'll do this even if this doesn't turn into a successful career, I would still be doing this, right? If you have that love and passion for it, I think the chances of you making something out of it, becoming successful at it, is way higher in general. And if you don't, at some point it will become hard enough or tough enough that you will come back saying, listen, I can't, man. I'm going to give up. I'm going to try something new. You're just going to take a break of it. And that's the start of the end. So which is why, like you rightly said about competition, right? There is a lot of competition in the industry I am in.
That was actually my next question, that how do you deal with that? And is this a product that can easily be copied? And if it can be, what is your USP?
It's super easy to be copied. Again, I said one of the USPs I have is like my influencer not exclusive, which is what they love. They love that, okay, I'm not making them sign a piece of contract which binds them to me. So I've tackled that differently, but I'll tell you about the competition bit. I am very pro competition. I'm very happy for competition to come through because it only validates the industry I'm in.
And it makes you better.
The concept that, okay, influencer marketing is here and it's here to stay and it's here to grow. right? Every year, more and more brands, numbers, the market cap in general for influencer marketing and the revenue streams in billions is growing every year. So that part I'm very happy about. Then there are also companies who've come in and copied exactly what we do. Like
there have been
to the point
in
of the
Delhi.
to the point of the names been copied. There's an ALIST in Chandigarh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like micro markets have copied our name.
There's another one also, bro. Even they reached out to us. It's called the Secret Society Club, I think.
Yeah. So,
I don't know about that, but now that I know your concept, I think they also have something.
Yeah,
similar.
so they've all come after us.
Yeah,
so
of course, I'm sure.
I know the people again. I know the founders of these agencies because obviously they're actually my friends.
Okay.
So
snitches.
It's okay.
I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding.
I mean, yes, snitches. But no, I fully get where they're coming from because if you are in a market, you have relatively low barriers to entry, such a big market cap, then it's economics, right? You expect people to enter and the market is saturate and all of this. It's bound to happen. There is no industry where you will be the only player. If you're a good player and you have a good enough revenue, people can see it. People like, even I can.
And competition just makes you better. I mean,
barrier to entry is almost nil. Like anyone can open an agency, be like, I have 100 influencers that I know. I'll start with them and I'll keep growing. So you have to stand out and you have to build your niche and you have to build your brand, which is why I am so focused on building ALIST. I'm not concerned about the numbers. I'm not concerned about the competition because if I can be the best at what I do in terms of both influencers, keeping my influencers happy, having the best influencers on board, ensuring that it's a community first approach whereby this is legit a community of people who love ALIST, who love being a part of ALIST, are very happy and treat ourselves like a family, right? Which is why ALIST fam is a big thing within ALIST club. If you can have all of that and make them bound to you, like there's a very well said line. If as a business or as a startup, if you can manage to make your customers your marketeers, then your business is unstoppable.
Yeah.
Here my customers are my influencers. And to be honest, till date, in 2.5 years of ALIST, there is not a single rupee of amount that I've spent on an ad. I've never run an ad for ALIST or promoted ourselves anywhere. No hoardings, no banners, no offline branding, nothing.
You literally have influencers as your customers and your marketeers. Like it's the perfect combination that a company would have.
But I'm just very happy that it's not that I keep asking them to do it. At some point, there's only so much they'll do for you by you asking them. At some point, the table has to be like, they have to go out there and tell the whole world, tell their own friends that, you know what, I'm part of ALIST. In rooms that I'm not in rooms where there's nothing for, I'm not send them there. But in rooms that they're naturally in, like they go to concerts, they go to events normally also. And they're like, you know what, I am part of ALIST and man, I wish this was an ALIST event. Because they do it so much better. You know, like bro, I was a creator and then I got A-listed and then how my life changed. And we've had stories. I've had stories of people who've legit cried while talking to me by just sharing the journey, like how they were struggling before. Some of the few stories I've heard while having a general interaction with one of the A-listers and like where it got deep, right? And they've told me about stories where they're from like an LGBT community, right? So they've struggled throughout high school, and I understand because that age group was such, they're not as open as the world is now. Yeah. So they struggled through it. They've had like a poor childhood, poor college life, poor social life, and then they came a point where because they were just creating content, putting themselves out there, we don't look at that metric, so we just A-listed them, right? And since they've got A-listed, their lives have changed. They've told how my friends see me has changed. My value. Accepted. They've become more accepted. No, not even accepted. They've been respected.
Respected,
now.
Yeah.
Like the tables have completely switched. Where they are they kind of try to become friendlier. Try to stay close to the person, say good things about the person because they're like, okay, you're part of A-list now. You're connected to all these cool people from Delhi, from Bombay. Like, how is it on the inside of it? There's a lot of FOMO value attached to being on the inside versus the outside. So their lives have changed. Plus, we've given them, again, a whole point of A-list is creating a community of like-minded people. So these are generally open-minded people who are, very forward-looking, very, in that sense, very ahead of the curve in the overall general population sense. So they've been very accepting of these people who've come into the creator world. And they're like, okay, I don't care what school you're from. I don't care what your background was. I don't even know your story. But I just know that you're A-listed and I'm A-listed. So there's commonality here.
So it's like A-list first and everything else comes afterwards.
Yeah, and it's like day one. It's like, okay, you're part of A-list now, it's day one. And now it's your natural personality comes through. And because you already vetted sweated through it and we like know you're a good person at heart and like you have some social skills and like you're out there, you've managed to make these 100 friends who are now your best friends. I've attended birthday parties of someone who I'd met like a year ago randomly, right? I've attended their party after 1 year. I entered a room and there was like 22 people there in a farmhouse, right? Out of those 22 people, 19 people were part of ALIST. And I know for a fact that that person didn't know any of these 19 people
before he was
a year ago. So I was like, and this was like, there was no professional association. There was no talk about ALIST in that room.
Yeah.
But because I know the background story, I was like, wow, these guys have actually managed to build a relationship of close friends and community.
There's nothing bigger in this world, bro, than community.
I agree.
The kind of powers that any community holds, they can literally change countries.
Yeah.
That's how much power a community holds, whether it's religious or political or whatever kind of a community. So if you, even in business, we are told, if you create a community with your product, then you've nailed it.
Correct.
And that's what you're doing, bro. Cheers to that. Before ending the podcast, I want to tell you a small story. Okay. So I got to know around 2 years back about ALIST, and I'm going to be very upfront and honest with you now that we've had this conversation. And I thought, मेरे को सच बताऊं, मेरे को कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं पता था.
ठीक है.
मुझे बस पता था कि ऐसे एक ग्रुप है जिसमें लोग होते हैं और पार्टी करते हैं. एंड मैं तो सच बता रहा हूँ, ब्रो, आई गॉट क्रिंज्ड आउट इन द सेंस, आई एम बीइंग वेरी ऑनेस्ट विद यू. मैंने कहा यार नहीं.
A lot of people did. Let's be fair.
Yeah. I'm just being very honest with you, bro.
I take it. I've heard it before, so I want to.
But bro, now that I see things, and in the last 6 months, because I've seen ALIST everywhere, I didn't know about you, but I knew about ALIST. And now that I've had this conversation with you, I just want to say major respect, bro. Like genuinely, bro. And I can see the way that you have ideas in your mind and how much you love what you're doing, and the way you talk and everything, you're going to be very successful.
That's really sweet, man. Thank you so much.
Trust me.
Appreciate it, man.
Any last words you want to say, bro?
Nothing, man. It was just lovely being here. It's been more than an hour. I didn't even get to know how time passed.
We had a great conversation.
Had a great conversation. You're a lovely guy to speak to, man.
Thank you so much.
I'm just very grateful for you having me here, giving me this opportunity. And
hopefully you come again. Next time we're going to do some bakchodi. This time we spoke more about ALIST. Next time we're going to do some more bakchodi.
Done, man. Looking forward.
So, thank you so much, bro. Thanks for being on the podcast.